you specifically. Is this live? You good?
Yeah.
Hi, Greg Wycliffe, People's Party candidate, Parkdale-High Park. I'm with a man who needs no introduction.
But I'll introduce myself anyway. My name is Marc Emery, erstwhile sometimes known as the Prince of Pot, but I've made an adult career out of going to jails and prisons, 40 of them altogether, in campaigns of civil disobedience for the last 30 years. And I'm an Ayn Rand acolyte, and it was 40 years ago this week that I first read Atlas Shrugged, and it changed my life. So I'm here in this election supporting the People's Party candidates, and Greg, I came to see you today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great.
Tell me about this transition we've experienced of legalizing pot. I mean, you're somebody who must know all about that.
It's been sad. See, what I learned about the term legalization is it's literally a surrender to the government to make all the rules and regulations. And the Cannabis Act was done so cynically, it tends to enrich only the police, the bureaucracy, Health Canada bureaucracy. They have thousands of new employees, and all the Health Canadas, or provincial health departments have new employees. Cops got a huge increase in their budget, $250 million. Cops and politicians are on the boards of 45 of these cannabis companies, and they've made it so that you have to have so much money to open a shop, and so much money to open a manufacturer of cannabis, that all the ordinary people that make up the culture are excluded. We're still criminals if we sell pot. We're still criminals if we grow more than 4 plants. We can't open a marijuana producing facility unless we've got fantastic resources, like over $1 million. So unfortunately, it's turned into a very bad situation where thousands of Canadians are still being arrested, even though it's legal, and then all the revenue is being funneled into the people who are completely opposed to legalization. Big corporations, politicians, the Health Canada bureaucracy, and it's sad, sad, sad. And so what I learned is that must be how all legislation is done. Cynically applied, preferential, biased, bigoted, and destined ultimately to hurt the people that the legislation is said is supposed to help, because that's what happened to us.
And did at any point anyone from the government reach out to you, Princess Pot, for any guidance, for any...
No, and my shop on Church Street, which was the greatest shop of all time, you're never going to see one legal or illegal, otherwise it was nicer. And no one is consulting me. We sold $7 million. You know what? They currently require you to have to open a shop, a legal shop. You have to prove you have $300,000 in cash available to buy your opening inventory. I started the cannabis culture on Church Street by borrowing $42,000 from a friend. $24,000 went to the first 3 months' rent. I had $15,000 to buy inventory, and I used $2,000 to paint the place and furnish it with furniture. And $15,000 worth of weed turned into $7 million in sales in the space of 6.5 months. And that anybody can do that. That was my whole idea. Anybody can do this. But now the government, of course, has fucked it up and left it only to the very wealthy, the well-heeled, big corporations, cops, politicians, all the people who were against us ever being legal are now the people exploiting it.
I wanted to ask, because it might be better to ask this way, is there anything good about the way pot legalization has been rolled out? Is there anything good?
The good thing about it was a good example worldwide to inspire others to legalize.
Right.
And I have been traveling the globe much of this time telling people, don't screw it up like Canada. What you can do is you can do it like Uruguay. Uruguay, people can grow 6 plants. The government sells it for $2 a gram. Then you can belong to a club where they can grow huge numbers of plants. Uruguay has an enormous surplus of cannabis, and it's very cheap. It's just $2 US a gram. Colombia allows people to grow 20 plants. If you can grow 20 plants of your own of any size, then you have substantially ended the black market, because that is enough for everybody to have as much cannabis as they want. But the problem is you still can't sell in Colombia, so a tourist might have a difficult time. But for the actual citizens, it's a good system. In South Africa, the Constitutional Court has said that anyone can grow an unlimited amount of cannabis. And I know people who are growing hundreds and hundreds of plants, and in order for them to charge you with trafficking, they have to prove you're selling it. So there's a lot of better regimes in the world than in Canada. But I will say one good thing came out of it. You can smoke cannabis anywhere in Ontario on the street, and you won't risk an interdiction with a police officer. And that's one good thing. So there's one good thing.
Amazing. While I have you, we're going to get kicked out of here soon, but while I have you...
By the way, I love People's Party, I love Maxime Bernier, I'm totally down with every platform, love all the candidates, giving lots of money to Max, at head office, as well as all the candidates in the GTA and across Canada, whatever the maximum was, $1,600. I just completed it today, and I'm going to be going to meetings. Hey, anybody watching, I will help hold up your signs at intersections. Give me a thing. I've got lots of time between now and the election to help out any candidate.
Let's get specific for 1 minute.
And if you like, I'll give you a 1-hour tutorial on how to do an all-candidates meeting, how to go door to door. I've been in 12 elections as a candidate. I've organized 79 candidates in British Columbia. I've done everything that's possible in election, and I can help you properly manage efficiently your time, right? Get out those busy intersections. You hold up a sign. I estimate 5,000 to 10,000 people go by a major intersection in 1 hour. And that, holding up your sign with your website, social media, your name and the party, that's all you need to do. Just 2x4. It's amazingly effective. Much better than lawn signs. Lawn signs get destroyed, they get stolen. People keep them as souvenirs, they don't even put them up. Right? They're wasteful. They're wasteful. Just get 12 chloroplast signs made up and get 12 volunteers to hit 3 intersections in your riding every day if you can. For 3 to 4 hours, it's going to make a big difference.
We should have you working at headquarters.
No, you shouldn't. The only problem is that I kind of made it look like I was available, but I'd have to get a combination because I think that's in Gatineau. Yeah. But actually, I wouldn't mind doing a Toronto Coordination Center. But that might be for the next election.
You talked about you're a successful entrepreneur in many ways. You made $7 million selling pot in the Wild West.
Gave it away too, $500,000.
But I talked about personal responsibility in the debate tonight. Or personal,
which is totally lacking on every other party. It's all spend, spend, spend. More government power, more government control. I mean, we're going to end up deindustrializing this country, and at the same time promising everybody of every age group, of every ethnicity, an unparalleled standard of living when we're all living like primitives. It's not possible. It's crazy. And I'm genuinely worried because all my life I've seen this kind of socialism, but they are really clamoring to spend us into unbelievable debt. You know, it's funny. The kids are worried about climate change. They should be worried about the national debt and all these obligations that these politicians of today are imposing on the young people of tomorrow. It's going to be tragic.
I was going to mention that in my final comment and say, we should be just as worried about a global recession. I don't want to fearmonger or anything. I don't want to say we're going to, die in 10 years or anything like that, but we should be worried about a global recession.
These politicians have made such tremendous commitments. The only way they can even be remotely made is if we have this robust economic activity going. But it's going to grind to a halt because there's just too many impediments on business, too much red tape. Trump's going crazy with tariffs. Tariffs are being imposed while we're being taxed, while we're going into deficit spending.
Let's speak positively, too, about the People's Party of Canada, because we want to correct that.
There's only positive things. I've never met a racist. I've never heard a racist sentiment. You look at the Bloc Québécois, last night they actually sent out a tweet saying, vote for us because we look just like you. And you look just like us, and that's basically calling. Yes, it's checked by Twitter. It's calling on the old stock, that's the Quebec nativists, to vote against any Anglophone, vote against Jews, vote against Muslims, vote against anybody not like them. Right? That's a very important and racist statement that the Bloc is saying, and they're counting on that. They're basically saying, look at Jagmeet Singh. You want him to be making decisions for you because look how he looks, right? And yet they call Maxime, who's never said a racist thing in his life. I've known the guy for years, and yet the Bloc is avowedly racist, avowedly discriminatory, avowedly fascist, as has always been a Quebec tradition. You go back to Maurice Duplessis. And the Quebec politics, they've always not liked Jews, they don't like Muslims, they're not happy with Sikhs, they want you to vote for people just like them. And I think the Bloc is the biggest danger, along with socialism generally, that we're facing in this election.
Wow. And Maxime Bernier is the only guy who wants to unite the country.
Absolutely. Max is the best. I've spent my life going to jail to do the right thing, to promote the right philosophies, to promote freedom, individual initiative, individual responsibility. Justice. I wouldn't be putting my name on a guy like Max if he had anything like what our enemies say. Max is the perfect politician. He's a gentleman. He's a decent guy. He's got the right ideas. I love all that.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon. And thanks so much, Mike.
Good to be here. And let's get out. He's waiting for us. He's been polite. Thanks very much.